Buongiorno. Hello, everyone, and welcome to Duhad and Mire's Civilization V, A Brave New World, the Extravagandas.
Yes,
Yeah, we're
those words.
yeah. It is 1 o'clock in the morning on the East Coast. I have my liquor, and Mire has nothing.
His no,
Nothing at all because he is
No.
of a legal age at which you're not allowed to
yes.
do anything.
Now,
So
I will say that this substance does exist in quantities in my residence. However, that is federally legal now in the state of Washington for people over 21. I am not 21.
so he's not actually smoking
so-
anything.
No. Under no circumstances would I ever partake in something horrifically immoral, like puffing on the devil's lettuce.
Yeah, on wacky tobacco. So let that be a lesson to all you kids.
Disgusting.
Drugs are whack, yo.
They really are.
Yeah.
My brain, would be scrambled right now.
He would be
If I were on some sort of illicit substance like that.
We'd be having a really awkward conversation right before the recorder started if he was on the drugs, which we didn't because he isn't, and because in the same way that this is apple juice.
Yes. This entire conversation is being fueled by my purposeful indecisiveness when it comes to selecting my civilization.
Indeed.
So I am going to be Rome, and we are going to begin.
We're going to be playing on standard, on a standard map. Mire's playing on Emperor. I'm playing on King. It's starting the Ancient Era, and on the, I believe I set this on the UK standard map. So ready up,
All
and
right.
we're ready to go. I have no good plan for how I want to play this, and I'm probably going to do badly because of it. But that's fine because we're really here to have a sober, no pun intended, conversation.
Yes.
As like a podcast thing, because
Sometimes,
every now and then, maybe some people want to peel back the layers and see a little bit of the people behind the
yes.
dice. Oh my god,
Yes.
that's super strong.
More often than not. So,
Oh my god.
there is an issue here. You don't. I think I don't have all the DLC. I don't have a random UK standard Civ map.
Dicks, I really like that map. Okay, fuck it. I'm gonna buy you those maps at some point because I really like them and I hate not being able to use them with anyone.
Okay.
Okay, but I'm thinking another map real quick.
Okay.
You know what? Fucking Earth's always fun.
All right.
All right, so there's actually a random continents Earth that's like better, but again, you don't have the random continents or countries. So I'm just going to use non-super cool one. All right, and re-inviting the Marelark Killer. So far, this open letter to people about the real life hard-hidden conversations we have behind the scenes is mostly us failing to set up a Civ game properly
Yes.
and lying.
Those just provide those just provide the visuals to the true content, which is our conversation.
Indeed, I mean, ultimately,
So the visuals are ultimately irrelevant.
that is what I tell people all the time. Same with editing. Editing is irrelevant. That is why none of my videos are ever edited after a certain point, because I just did not give up, but because I'm making a point about art.
Mm-hmm.
Think about that.
Very cogent point. It's an actively.
I want to point out the fact that there is a shitload of ice in this cup. This is not actually that much whiskey. It is lying because I filled the entire glass full of ice, and
Just so it would clink around, right?
well, then because it's like fucking hot and I want it to be cool.
Ah.
But it's now I look like an alcoholic.
Okay.
Thank you.
Wait, you want to go on, King?
Oh, true, you're right. You're right.
The one-upsmanship wouldn't be as obvious. if you did one below king.
Right, Mire needs to prove what a big swinging dick he is. And I need to prove that, damn it, I can still play Civ on King, even if it's been a really long time since I played Civ, like, well. I can still do it. I can still do it.
I'm just playing at the difficulty that's fun for me, Duhad.
Fuck. So anyway, actually, I was something I was actually thinking about, because I don't know if people know this, but Nero actually has his own civilization that he made for the game. Not like official, obviously, it's a mod, but he's got a civilization. It's, it's focused around waifus and lollies and stuff.
All of the true pleasures in life.
It's a bit broken. We made fun of him for it, but he actually did a relatively good job. Aside from his special unit, which we won't get into because I don't want to actually be mean to him, but aside from his special unit, it actually is a pretty well built Civ, and I kind of like, because of that fact, was curious, Mire.
Yeah.
I've been kind of thinking about this question on and off at work, because I'm bored at work. But I was wondering, like, if you were to build your own custom civilization and, try to make it reasonably balanced, but also reflective of you and your values as both a player and, like, making something you themed. How would you do that? How would you personally do that?
Let's see. I was accidentally tabbed out of the game there, so
well.
I have to, like, catch up here. That's a tough question. It really is. I guess it would be...
Again, this isn't like a simple question of, like, just one thing. Like, I mean, you had to come up with a Civ, like a Civ bonus, and then either 2 unique units or a unique unit and a unique building.
Yeah.
I'll go first, actually,
okay.
because I actually put a little.
It seems like you've been thinking about it.
Yeah, so So what I came up with, and I kind of was going for something kind of obvious because of it was inspired by Nero's civilization, which is kind of based on his persona in Let's Read and all that. So I was thinking, like, the Duhad civilization, with like the theme being Let's Read and like writing and stuff like that. So like the idea would be, what was the it was like the I was kind of torn between doing like a water thing because I really like the water, and not really being like wanting to make it that like hyper specialized and like only useful in certain things. So I think what I ended up doing was the civilization was actually kind of culture themed. The unique building was this is a super good place to like grab some resources. The unique building would be like a replacement for the university. That was like the Let's Read or was it? No, it wasn't even going to be the university. It was going to be like the one of the happiness producing buildings. But it would basically be like the Let's Read amphitheater. And the idea would be like it produces happiness, but it also produces culture. So like the idea is like people like doing like reading shitty fan fiction and creating a dumb culture around it, while also generating happiness. Which again, like that kind of fits in with generally how these things kind of work.
Right.
And then I think what the fuck else? I think for a unit, I think the idea was like. And this is kind of breaking the rules a little bit because...
It could be a replacement for the great writer.
Yeah, I was thinking about that. What I was kind of thinking between was either a replacement for the great writer, which I was having trouble thinking of like a good thing to do for that, or a change to the worker, like the idea kind of going with the whole like Duhad, the channel host thing, wherein like the idea is that the workers have like a +1 movement. Like the idea just being like improving the general like workaday like dudes. Like
that's interesting.
Yeah. For a writer, I guess it would probably just be like you can like burn a writer for culture, and it like also produces like something else. Like it gives you like a bunch of golden age points or something. And it's like,
That would be interesting.
yeah. And the what the fuck was the actual like? I think the Civ bonus was right. A Civ bonus was going to be that was going to be like kind of a like the idea behind like the readers and like branching off from multiple projects and stuff. So basically, if you got like for every 3 pop, I think it was like for every like 3 pop in a city, you get +1 culture from that city.
Wow.
So like building up building cities tall would have a cultural bonus. Like going wide, like because again, it's like a very cultural
A significant cultural
it
bonus.
would probably actually have to get nerfed to like every 4 pop or something. But like the point is,
Yeah.
population creates culture if you build tall.
Yeah.
But then also like you then move quickly, like your workers move quickly in like quickly establishing you. So the idea is like you have an early jump on, you know, the culture game, and then you kind of like use that to quickly build up and have that allow you to rapidly, you know, kind of like get into whatever, you know, culture group you're doing. What the fuck am I want to? Yeah, I wanted to expand down there, so probably going to build a couple of cities. So, yeah. But yeah, so that would be my thing, and I'd probably make the colors for it be purple, like a lighter shade of purple with a red, you know, outline.
Yeah.
So that,
I like it.
There you go. That's me. So you, what would you do?
I would do the Dark Souls civilization, and it would have a replacement for the monument, which would be a kiln. First flame.
Okay.
And it would give you I'd have to tie this to something. I suppose it would give you more happiness would be one. Perhaps faith. And it would be, you know, an incredibly early game bonus. And then replacing the knights would be the Black Knights. Which would just be a generally improved knight.
Okay. I
And
see that.
the bonus for the entire civilization would be I'm sorry, but Amsterdam has 6 sugar
Jesus Christ.
in one city's borders. It's unbelievable.
That's actually freaking nuts. What the hell?
Yeah.
Okay, so what would your Civ bonus be?
For the Dark Souls, I suppose it would be the Rite of Kindling, which would mean that the higher your pop is, the more you can generate happiness and faith by essentially burning the undead's like lack of a soul in the first flame and the kiln, which is kind of how Dark Souls is.
Yeah.
That's the overarching lore of the game.
Right. Okay. Okay.
So I think that would make a good.
I could see that. Like, I might actually almost suggest like something along the lines of like the thing is like you get like some sort of bonus every time one of your own troops dies in battle. Like
Yeah.
some like little like a weird like reverse Aztec thing where it's like you know you die you get a bonus.
That would, yeah. I suppose that would lead to you sacrificing a bunch of your units.
Yeah. It makes death less punishing, or like it makes death more of just a thing that you accept.
Yeah. The bonus would have to be balanced, so
that you couldn't literally just like buy, like you couldn't just like be like, I'm never going to improve beyond warriors. No, I'm sure you could like find a way of balancing it, but like I don't know, I think that'd be fun. But all right, cool. And just for colors for fun, like what would that be?
black and darker black.
Okay, black and like a dark gray.
No, it would be black and that sort of silvery white, like what's on the edge of the humanity sprites.
Okay, no, I like that. I like that. I don't think black is actually a color that's used a lot. Huh. So yeah, I'm sure that could work. I'm sure, like, I'm sure I've seen it on like people using black on like the thing. So I'm sure it doesn't like just fuck everything.
Right.
All right. I want to grab. Yeah, I want to rapidly expand. Oh, expand up. Yeah. Yep. You, my friend, will go there. Oh wait, fuck. Did I totally forget about? I forgot you. Oh wait, no, I don't need that for camps. Oh, thank God. I thought I'd fucked myself. Okay, so. Oh dear Lord. But yeah, no, like actually, we should actually probably explain, because this is going to be, this will be going up after Strange Bedfellows Part 2 has aired, so people will know that's back, but they won't necessarily know why we are not instead playing Fallout Equestria.
Yes.
So, Mire, as the GM of Fallout Equestria,
yes, yes, of course. Mire didn't do anything, and then we didn't do Fallout Equestria. So, I suppose that's just for the sake of expediting, like, who can...
Who's running the next game?
Yeah, who's running the next game.
Mire agreed
we're gonna put it on either a long hiatus or maybe a reboot.
Yeah, I think what we're thinking is we'll probably reboot it once we when it comes around to a point where Mire wants to run again, and like we got like the things like are like the stars align, everyone's able to do it. We'll probably reboot it, and we might use like the same characters or something, but we'll probably restart the story because we didn't really get far enough that like picking up months later would really make a ton of sense. It'd just be like, oh, okay, now remember everybody, what we've done what's happened so far in the campaign, you wandered a bit, you met one person, continue from there. Though I'm biased because I don't know how you do this, but like whenever I don't play a game for a really long time, what I usually do is I like character creation, I like making characters. The writer part of me loves that whole creation process. So if I'm in a state where I'm like, oh, I want to make this, like, I want to like continue this thing, but it's been a while, I wasn't even that far, I'm not losing a lot, I always restart. I always make a new character and start a new story.
Yeah, I agree with you.
All right. So yeah, we'll probably restart Fallout Equestria at some point when Mire wants to run it again, and it'll be fun.
Yes, it will be.
Yeah, general consensus was that Fallout Equestria was a very fun game, that everyone really did enjoy themselves with it. But its time has not yet come.
No.
That's fine. We're instead doing some Strange Bedfellows. Admittedly, this is kind of a weird one because Bedfellows was actually supposed to be after another game, possibly even two other games that were coming up before it. And you'll actually notice that in the Bedfellows recording, which Mire has not yet been a part of, it's not yet seen, there's a lot of people in that recording, like more than we usually allow, like after we kind of reshape the thing. And the reason for that was, part of the idea was that we had other games planned ahead of it, but people were not going to be around, so we were like, okay, whatever, it's fine. We'll just, we'll up Strange Bedfellows. We'll run with who we have. It'll be fine.
Mm-hmm.
Turns out this was the week that everyone's schedule technical issues resolved themselves, and everyone's now good again. So,
right. So how many players are in the campaign?
I think there are. Actually, it's not that bad. But I think it's like 5. There's like 5 players. I think, which is
all right.
One.
How's it running?
Actually, pretty well. Though in part because of the fact that everyone's kind of having a good time.
Mm-hmm.
I can see a group of this size running into serious issues if people stop having fun, and I have to like okay, hold on, here's something for you to do. Well, we're not doing anything right now. Well, here's something for you to do.
Right.
So I'm a little worried about that, but I'm hoping that if something like that happens, the thing about Strange Bedfellows is even though Part 2 is going to have a much lighter and kind of different tone than Part 1, it's still ultimately it's a brutal game. Like it's a setting in which people can die very, very easily, and so killing people to even out the numbers, if that becomes necessary, is not impossible. So keep your eyes peeled, fans. People will probably end up dying at some point, even if not planned. Yeah, people will fucking die, I'm sure. But I'm going to be even less cautious about it than normal, which is actually something I kind of feel is interesting about this group, and that Mire would kind of be less involved in this because of the fact that he hasn't been really invested in one of the role-playing games in a bit. But one of the things that's notable about this group specifically, and that's very different than a lot of role-playing groups, especially ones I've been in before, is that every group has sort of every GM has a lethality threshold, let's call it. Every GM has the how much plot armor they're willing to give players. And from setting to setting, there's a lot of games that are like, okay, this game is this is Star Wars. We're not gonna have people dying left and right in Star Wars, or this one is Call of Cthulhu. We're going to have people die left and right in Call of Cthulhu.
Right.
But even beyond that, every GM has their how willing they are to kill people, and mine's relatively low. I'm more killy than a lot of GMs I've played with, but I'm still more than happy to kill people if the dice roll up that way, and I find character death and character betrayals and shit like that to be delightful fun. But this group, and I think it's partly because of the fact that it's being recorded, it is different than a lot of other games. I noticed things are kind of different, and a lot of times the plot armor's a little bit thicker. People tend to be a little bit more don't kill people because we don't want to have people quitting in frustration or something. Which is I'm not saying that's necessarily a bad thing. I honestly think a lot of the games have been super strong. But it is something that's actually kind of interesting. I think longtime role-playing fans have probably actually kind of picked up on that this is a much less lethal group. And I'm kind of curious for anyone who is actually a role player out there, how you take that, because admittedly I've been in some pretty fucking killy groups, so maybe I'm just so used to people dying that that I'm kind of wow, no one's dying that frequently, but they are still kind of dying. Wow, that's light. And you guys are no, that's actually this is super killy for us. I don't know. I'm curious.
Yeah.
That was a weird thing. Oh my god, I've already seen the Austrians and the Ethiopians.
I got Will.i.am and the star dude, the guy with the star.
Oh yeah, I think that's I think
Morocco.
I think Will.i.am. You mean Ethiopia, the black dude with the afro?
No, I'm talking about the Dutch.
Oh, okay, yeah, William, yeah, okay,
Yes.
yeah. Sorry, I didn't get the joke.
No, it's okay.
Actually, someone I knew once compared me to the Ethiopian leader in this game.
Really?
Yeah, with like his like crazy afro and beard. Like when I was in afro and beard mode.
Right.
But like they actually they actually did like a caption image version of that was just like that dude as me, and it's like something about, I don't remember the details. It was like Black Duhad will kick your ass or some bullshit like that. It was dumb. It helped that I played him when Gods and Kings came out. I played him almost exclusively for a while because I really liked Ethiopia's bonus. Like before culture was changed, Ethiopia was probably my favorite culture civ. Because of the way it's like how defensive it is and how like awesome that initial shrine thing is.
Right.
Like the your monument, which you always build to your playing culture as like the first thing you do. Also giving faith was like, fuck, that's great. That's so strong. So I played a lot of him. Okay, let's see. I really need to find more area to expand to. Anyway. Mire.
Yes.
You've recently been playing a lot of Civ, and you've actually been doing a lot better at it. You're, hitting some pretty fucking high levels. And you're now playing on Emperor.
Yeah.
You also said at some point, and I fully intend to record you doing this, that you managed to beat a game on Immortal. Like, at the very least, I want to record you playing Immortal, because fuck.
Okay, yeah.
You goddamn nutbar.
Yeah, it'll be... I think I got lucky. In that Venice is really good. I think that influenced my victory. I'm not certain. I intend to try again with Venice and see if I can duplicate what I did the last time. But part of that is separating what decisions I made. Having a plan, and then how the circumstances change those decisions. So I'm not entirely certain how much, say, a factor like the AI being different near me will influence the pace of the game. So there's a chance that I can do it again.
But it's also
but
not like...
I'm not entirely confident. I've only ever beaten Immortal one time, so from start to finish, there are a lot of variables in a Civ game to be accounted for.
True, but I intend to document every step of them while providing color commentary.
All right.
While not drinking, because then I'll be funnier and have more to say than just like, so, what's the deal with that civilization?
And I mean, I can't do it. I can't do it sober. Like right now, in my crystal clear sobriety, I am playing at like peak capacity.
Indeed.
But in order to play Immortal, you have to sort of transcend this reality into the next. So I only do... I sort of left out the most important factor, which I was, trashed on MDMA the whole time.
On what?
On MDMA. I was just snorting that shit like crazy when I was beating that Civ game.
I don't know. Is that bath salts? Is that what the kids are doing these days?
No.
Did you eat someone's face?
I ate a pizza, but then like the veil of the Matrix went down for a second, and it was a face.
Oh my god.
And then the voices told me to shut the fuck up.
Oh.
And it was very odd,
You should listen to them. They know what's best for you. So, God damn it. actually, I think I actually have always wanted to kind of bring it back, and I've never been able to. Was like the normal podcasting. I think the problem and like the reason why I've not been able to get a podcast working since end to end has been that there's not been like a single unifying thing to base a podcast around. Like I'm not Jim Sterling. I can't make fucking fish arc marking.
Right.
I can't like get people together who are funny enough to do like an improv comedy like podcast. I don't have like a single unifying thing that's interesting to gather people around me to like discuss as like just a normal type podcast. Which sucks because I'd love to like have an opportunity to sit down like on a weekly basis and just talk and just like discuss things and talk life and like I don't know, video games or ponies or fucking anything, like just whatever. Oh, it's Mire. It's Mihor.
Oh, hello.
Hello.
Where are you at?
I'm directly down and to the slide, so not directly down. So I'm never eat shredded southeast.
Ah.
Yes, I
see you there.
Indeed. Oh, hey, it's the Ethiopians. Hello, Ethiopians. They're south of us, actually. Interesting. But yeah, so I'd love to do something like that, but I kind of feel like I don't have a thing worth talking about. Like, you know, like, you ever, like, honestly, do you have, like, anything that you think, like, is interesting that, like, we all do that, like, is worth talking about? Or that enough of us do that's worth talking about?
That's... no.
Yeah.
Not at any level.
Yeah, because that's, like, the thing. It's, like, you know, like, we all play video games, but we also, like, most of us don't play, like, enough video games to be, like, a video game group. And we read fan fiction, but, like, most of us only read enough fan fiction to let's read. And we all, you know, we all do, like, all this different stuff, but, like, we tend to do it just enough to be competent at what we are, like, setting out to do.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, that's kind of weird. Like, I feel like like, ever since, like, the group stopped being about Pony, we mostly have been, like, stuck together by, like, various weird, like, coincidences and, like, bizarre, like factors that like,
yeah,
realistically should not be as, like, binding as they are, but, you know, still are, and thank goodness for that, because you guys rock and stuff, like, but yeah, you know.
Yep.
So yeah, that sucks. I'd love to do a podcast, but, like, that's why I haven't done a podcast. Like, yeah, I was like, hey, I can actually ask Mire if he knows how to, like, improv, but no, you're not, like, an improv comedian. Like, you have things that you say that are funny. You are a funny person at times.
No, but I am not an improv comedian by any stretch of the imagination.
Yeah, like, and that was kind of thing, like, with, I kind of tried to do a bit of that with, the people I did end-to-end with. Like, Lightning Rabbit, he's not good at improv, but, like, actually, do you watch Fish Shark Marketing?
I have seen some of it.
Okay, have you seen any of the stuff with Paul Sincere?
Yeah.
Okay, so you know how he's not really as strong an improver as Jim and Conrad, but he's still, like, he's a good foil. Like, he's you know, he's able to kind of, like, roll with what they say and add something, even if that something is sometimes, like, not necessarily, like, as, like, oh my god, like, as those two.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like Lightning Rabbit could do that really well. Like, that's one of his best, like, his strongest things as a comedian is that he can just roll with anything. And that's great. And, like, Cabral is, like, if it wasn't for the fact that Cabral kind of has, like, this thing where, like, he's there are certain areas he won't go to. Like, if we joke in a certain direction, he'll not be like, he'll just kind of like, what? That's ridiculous. Don't, like, that's what? No. Which makes it hard to kind of do a whole fish arc thing of like really insane improv.
Right.
Sound speed is not improvisational. Sound speed is funny as fuck, and like Nero will defend him till the day he dies. Sound speed is not that improvisational, which sucks again, because like he'd be a really good person to do something like this with, but not the right humor style.
Right.
That bothers me. That bothers me more than it should. That I don't have anyone I can do a dumb internet thing with.
Well, this is easily a dumb internet thing.
Well, this is absolutely a dumb internet thing. But I want to do a consistent dumb internet thing. I want to get together with people and be fucking stupid. The worst part is, here's the worst part. I totally have a friend who I could do exactly what I want to with, like this exact thing with, and it would work perfectly.
You do?
Yeah, but he's not like an internet person. Like he's on, like, the only internet thing he does is on Xbox Live.
I see.
Like he's an IRL friend, not a internet friend. So like,
okay.
I can't, like, actually the thing is, like, if I had a camera, he is hands down, like, we've actually talked about this before. We'd do an improv comedy sketch show. Like if we had a decent camera, some lighting, and the ability to like sit down and do it, like we have stupid good chemistry.
All right.
But not an internet person. Like fuck.
Yeah.
Fuck. Oh, dicks. So yeah. So that's yeah. I actually, like, that's the thing. I have like I have some friends I hang out with in person, but like in person, I mean, like, my sense of humor is basically the same, but like it's a different situation. Like it's a very different situation than here with you guys. Obviously, unless I'm not even remotely close to being like a boss-like figure.
No.
With our friends, like I'm definitely not like even close to being like that person in the group, like that person who organizes things as like the proactive group member.
Right.
But like here definitely I am a lot more of that. Like I'm a lot more kind of like, hey guys, hey Mire, we're playing a game of Stellaris right now, but let's stop doing that and play Civilization so we can record a podcast that we have like no preparation for. And it's like, okay, let's do that. So what about you? Do you ever do like change? Like, are you different when you're offline with your friends offline? Also,
I do. I can be as uncompromisingly blunt as I choose to be.
Here?
Without the fear... No, with them.
Oh.
Yeah, no, you're getting the filtered version of me
my God.
all the time, Duhad.
Oh my God.
And I don't have to worry about hurting anybody's feelings.
Fair.
So that's the dynamic with my friends in real life. Because it's all about the love-hate thing. The love-hate thing male friends do in,
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
in life.
I have experienced that in the past. And I wasn't born yesterday.
Yee.
But no, I get you. That's I'm actually kind of surprised like I know like it kind of sounded like my reaction was like, oh my God, like this is you uncensored, and I kind of turned it into that. But like legitimately, I am the reverse when it comes to like how I am. Like part of my surprise actually comes from the fact that like I am totally the opposite. Like when I'm talking with you guys, this is me like with the filters turned off. Like with other people, like a lot of this shit would be like heavily like censored and played down and stuff. Like I'd be like, let's That's something I can't say in front of so and so or such and such. Like, ooh,
Yeah.
I shouldn't let this get back to anyone else. So, like, I'm not gonna say that.
I
Like,
I gave up on doing that.
fair enough. I admittedly have this problem, and I've like mentioned this to my other friends, and that I kind of have this thing where like I'm not like social enough that I have enough friends to be like, hey, whatever, like, love it or leave it, yo, this is Duhad, you know.
Mm-hmm.
So like, you know, for me it's like, well, I gotta censor myself because I don't want to do the opposite. The opposite is bad.
Mm-hmm.
The opposite is not what I want. But you're not that way. You're not at all. You're
No.
I wonder at that. Like I honestly do, because like it's such a different situation
Mm.
that like it actually vaguely baffles me. Like it's like meeting an alien and being like how do you how does the brain work in such a way where you can say these things without feeling horribly guilty? By George, I am shocked. Shocked, I say.
Yeah.
No, I mean, like, that's cool, though. That's actually, I think that is ultimately for the best, like, being able to kind of, like, not, like, constantly filter yourself and worry about other people's opinions and stuff like that is probably ultimately a super, super good thing to be able to do.
Mm.
But I am legitimately, honestly, like, it is surprising to me. Like, that is actually a thing where I don't.
I am making an attempt to abandon that completely.
Really? So you're going in the opposite direction now?
Yeah. I am purposefully putting myself in situations that are questionable, I suppose, to somebody who judges me by what I would perceive as society standards. I shouldn't say I'm purposefully putting myself in these situations. I'm just wandering around until these situations occur.
Is there any particular reason you've suddenly decided to do that?
That's a good question. It was the only way I could make my mom stop bugging me all the time.
Hey, whatever motivates you. I mean, like, nagging is...
Well, it's reverse nagging, you know, it's loving nagging. Because I'm at that age where I'm at the teetering point between, you know, being a kid and being an adult. And it's you know, it's very difficult to break that bond like that, because they're sort of set to go in the opposite direction all the time, which would be, you know, loving you and doing what they think is truly the best for you. But the thing is, that always differs, and at some point it is necessary to assert that.
Yeah.
And this is the first time that I've actually been able to effectively assert that with my mom.
You are at that age. You are at that age now where, you know, like, you're starting to kind of, like, work towards true independence, and that
Right.
means, you know, being able to kind of put down your foot and say, like, this is, you know, how I am doing things. Like, this is...
Right. But on a more personal level, the way I go about doing that is fueled by, I guess, the rubber banding of me being a generally anxious person. And anxious in very specific ways about relationships. To a degree that, I almost create a fictitious abstraction of myself to, judge their opinion of me by, in a very unhealthy way. And it's like creating a straw man of myself so that the imaginary girl can break it down.
Yeah. I absolutely know you're feeling like what that's like.
Yeah. But what I'm trying to do is be as unapologetically nonchalant about everything as I possibly can. So whatever sort of whimsies I have, I will just go about doing them, like walking around the park and just doing whatever the hell I want. Which is very, when people say that, it's usually under the connotation of some sort of extreme. But in my case, I don't have any whimsies that would be criminal, or at least not morally reprehensible, in my opinion, by any sort of larger standard. Now I'm just being verbose again because I'm trying to cover my tracks.
Yeah, no,
because I was embarrassing myself.
No, it's okay. I totally get that. I know I say that a lot, but I understand how you mean by that. I mean, I whenever I say anything that I'm afraid might it's almost like, I'm gonna use a dumb analogy here, but it's almost like a video game wherein you have the ability to save, quick save your progress, and right before you make a decision, if you're in a video, in a role playing game, like BioWare's Mass Effect, a big decision's coming up, it's going to affect the rest of your game, and so you quick save before it. Because you don't want to actually commit. You don't really want to commit to your choice, but you also want to proceed. You want to see what happens. Right. And it's the conversational equivalent of that, of basically being okay, I'm going to say this thing, but I'm not really going to say. I'm going to quick save. I'm going to kind of put it around it so that I can then turn around and say, oh no, you didn't quite understand it. It was because it meant something totally different. Or it was a joke. Or oh, it was a theoretical, hypothetical, blah blah blah. Even though really what all it was actually you just putting yourself out there a bit and not wanting to put yourself out there a bit.
Okay, well then, to be blunt, to be blunt, my rational mind fucks my subconscious constantly, and I am actively pushing it out of my head.
Good. I mean, wait, yes, good, because what you're saying is good. What you're saying as a method of dealing is good, yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Okay. Good.
So that means doing things that I know to be irrational. Because feelings are irrational.
Right. Okay, no, that makes sense. Kind of took me a while to kind of piece that all together in my brain, but no. Yeah, I get you. Oh God, my financing is in the toilet because I can't feed this fucking city. Oh, this fucking desert is killing me. It's going to expand on a grass helmet. No. Woof, that's not good. Okay, you retreat over here. We need to curb this problem. All right, we need a caravan. Stat. But yeah, no, it took me a very, very long time to get around the fact that every time I was in a situation in which I was oh, here's the thing, like, here's a problematic situation. There's a potentially bad thing that could happen from this. Better, like, weasel around this super hard. And, that's a shitty way of behaving. It kind of, like, you more often than not end up just kind of being an ass to people because you're trying to avoid, like, putting any of the, like, anything on yourself. While at the same time, like, any genuine, like, attempt at, like, dealing with things or, like, expressing yourself or something gets, like, kind of, like, spoiled by the fact that you are desperately trying to, like, not actually be yourself and, like, yeah, like, it's shitty, man. It's shitty.
Yeah.
I mean, like, when I was in college or after college, when I was there was one girl I tried to ask out at one point, and the experience of asking her out was a nightmare, like a nightmare of tripping over myself and everything because I was so desperately afraid of displaying genuine human emotion and risking rejection,
Right.
that I very nearly like screwed up beyond repair the entire act of asking her out, and it worked in the end. Like it all it ended up actually working out better than realistically I should have expected. But like the thing was that a big part of that was like it probably shouldn't have gone as well as it did because I was so like neurotic about the way I was trying to handle the whole thing, and I feel like that's that's something that a lot of people kind of don't deal with really, like a lot, especially a lot of younger people, a lot of people like in this generation. Like we've kind of popularized this notion. Okay, we're in this kind of weird position socially where traditional roles have kind of started to like phase out, like traditional male-female roles. So like,
right,
it's no longer quite as strictly like you have the guy ask the girl says yes, you go to the ball, and if you're adults you go to get the coffee at the coffee shop.
Right.
Like there were kind of like established, at least according to media, like rules that you follow. And when you're young and you're growing up and you don't necessarily have a good model for this stuff, you generally tend to base yourself off of those models created by, media.
Right.
And we are now getting to the point where those roles don't exist in the same way they used to. And that's good in a lot of ways, but it also kind of fucks with our ability to like use those as a basis for our own lives. And I feel like a lot of people, like part of the reason they screw themselves so hard is because they're trying to juggle what they think is the right way of doing things. Where if you're a guy, you ask out a girl, and then you ask them out to a dinner date or to go to the movie theater. And if you're a girl, you make it clear to the guy who you want to ask you out that you are available and interested and that they should ask you out, but your role is entirely passive, and that like whatever you want to do ultimately it doesn't really matter as much as what they're going to ask you out to do. You should just try and like hint in the direction of what is good, because you don't want to be too domineering, but you also don't want to be too passive. and like the whole landscape is fucking weird.
Yeah.
And yeah, and it's weird, yo. I don't know. Maybe it's different from other people. Maybe we're
No,
weirdos
I
like
can
nerds.
see
Hmm.
some truth to that.
Yeah. I mean,
At least as far as my experience.
yeah. I mean, admittedly, you've been doing a lot better about all this than I have, than I ever have. You know, you're
Well, that's due in no small part to circumstances, not regarding,
yeah,
circumstances outside of our control.
yeah. Yeah, which actually, by the way, I feel like probably should be reiterated. I've mentioned this before, but I feel like I've done. I feel like I haven't really mentioned it at all, and that's kind of encouraged other people not to mention it either.
Hmm.
And like, I kind of noticed a few people in the, like, especially like one thing in the comment was like people apparently, at least some people, like straight up forgot that I'd come out. So like, for the record, I came out.
Hmm.
As trans, not as gay, though. I mean, if you hadn't like picked up on, I mean, I was dating one of the dudes who I did videos with back in the day. So I mean, like, if you didn't pick up on that one, God help you. But I mean, like, I don't really take ads anymore. I mean, I guess that makes me like, I don't know. I guess that really depends on how like individuals want to like see it.
Hmm.
I'm either super gay or super not gay, in that
I think that there's no real,
I know
you
I just,
know,
like I don't know, I just find it funny. I'm like oh well, either depending on the way you see gender, I'm either bi on the side of gay or bi on the side of straight.
how can
I
you
fucking don't
rationalize?
know.
How can you rationalize a process that's inherently irrational?
I don't know, dude.
A subjective one at that.
Mm,
I guess we'll just futilely attempt to do it for all time.
that's a good idea to me.
That's, yeah. It is the way of things.
The greater good. I don't know. It actually bothers me. Like, I mean, doesn't like not like in like a serious way, but in like a dumb like this bothers me while I'm trying to sleep at night kind of way, where it's like, wait, shit, like, like, what does this count as? Like, if I like a girl, is that gay or is it not gay? I don't care either way. But the fact that I don't know is annoying.
I think the fact that you don't know points to how such a rare circumstance breaks down the veil of culture and how it influences our perceptions of gender
Yeah, well, I mean,
and
like,
sexuality.
I think the real telling thing would be the incredibly bizarre situation of a trans man being attracted to a trans man, or the trans woman being attracted to a trans woman. I mean, that would fuck with someone's mind every
Yeah.
night when they tried to sleep.
I mean, if they're attracted to each other, it really doesn't matter.
I suppose not, but it still would fuck with their mind if they are like an obsessive compulsive like me.
Yeah. But I think that, the question is flawed. Like, truly is.
Sorry, just coming up with a poorly misspelled religion.
I see.
Which I'm just quickly founding. Followers in our cities, gold range follows this religion. Wait. Oh, in total. To go for each city following this religion. Okay, yeah, I want this one. I always go with like the tall one, but I'm kind of playing a religious wide game.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know how well it'll work, but like I'm choosing a thing I never choose because of it.
Mm-hmm.
What's another thing I actually kind of want? Actually, I'm gonna go with. Oh shit, I got a lot of wine incense, so monastery, yeah. Okay. I don't know, like, is it horribly pretentious to, like navel gaze about something that literally affects 0.1% of the population?
You know, isn't that the Republican platform?
Oh shit. I don't disagree.
At its very core.
Oh my god. Okay, well, as long as we're approaching this subject, this is a thing I have always found weird, is that the Republican platform tends to pander super hard to, like, poor people in the Midwest and rich people on the coasts, while the Dems, target primarily poor people on the coast and, wealthy people in, like, the Midwest. Like, what the fuck is up with that? Like,
it's so, never have I feel like I've grasped what's going on with American politics more.
like, I mean, honestly, for me, it's a little bit easier because it's like, I'm LGBT. There is one party that is strictly pro-LGBT, that is more often than not pro-LGBT, and one party that is more often than not anti-LGBT. Makes it pretty simple. Even if I disagree with the Dems on a lot of other things, they are ultimately the party that's not going to, like, stab me in the back.
Right.
On, like, the issue, on, like, the big issue that really matters to me.
But that doesn't speak to the quality of the parties. That just speaks to your own self-interest.
Oh, no,
pure and simple.
Oh, purely.
For the reasons of, self-preservation.
Exactly, but that's the thing. It's like, for me, it's relatively straightforward because I have that clear and simple answer of one party is objectively better for me.
Right.
But, like, good fucking lord. Like, used to be, I was like, okay, Democrats all the way, fucking love, like, I like the way they treat the poor, like, I like poor people. I'm like, I am one. I like gay people. I am one. I like, fucking, like, pretty much everything. Like, pretty much like, the environmentalism shit. I like environmental stuff. They tend to be more on that. Like, this is so easy. The Dems are, like, the good guys in fiction.
Yeah, breaking news. Obama worries more about global warming than terrorism.
I mean, guys, I'd like...
that was some shit I saw discussed on a afternoon Fox report thing.
Oh my god. But, like, the thing is, like everyone, like, politics have gotten so fucking nasty. Like, recently, like, everything has gotten bitter and, like gridlock has become the rule of law. Both parties have just sort of dug their heels in and decided that, like, the more important thing than like passing legislation that their representatives want is not allowing legislation to be passed that their opponent, that, like, their legislators don't want, like, their people don't want. It's like, God damn it, you're all assholes. And, like, every time I look online, like, look up, like, political stuff, it's like, oh, here's something happening, and the reaction immediately is, like, hyper-polarized, like, well, facts don't prove anything. Like, my political biases are being, like, threatened by, this report. Therefore, it's terrible. And then immediately you go over to, like, a report that's, kind of, like, favors the other side, is like Clinton, like, oh, Trump, like, joked about shooting Clinton. Well, the media is always reporting on how, like, it's, like, always, like, got a bias against Trump. Clinton, like, emails are hacked. The new, like, Democrats are always whining whenever the news media targets them. Maybe it's because they're doing something wrong. And then the exact same thing happens in reverse. Like, the fucking Fox News, like, everyone's Fox News. Everyone is, He's reporting bullshit. You know, never really want to focus on like the real stories.
Right.
You know,
there are no real stories.
Oh fuck! Just I used to. Oh.
That's the sad thing about the society we live in. There are no real news stories.
Well, the thing is, like, there is news. The problem is
Right.
there is not 24 hours worth of news.
No.
Like, there is 2 hours worth of news on most days, and then some days you have, like, massive things where it's like, man, this 24-hour coverage is like, super, like, riveting. But more often than not, it's like, well, shit, we've created, like, half a dozen 24-hour news sites that, like, are designed to feed us, like, you know, radical stories, like headline grabbing stories every single hour of every single day.
Right.
And like in order to fill that quota, like 90% of the stories that get reported are like, here's like, oh, there was a joke. I don't even remember where it's from, but it was like, oh, actually, I think it was from Chuck Soderbergh, who does the SF Debris, and he's the guy behind the comics history thing that I showed you. But like he had a joke at one point about something that was like basically about this very subject, which was like will drinking water give you cancer? One extremely stupid person says yes, and we put a camera in front of him.
Yeah.
But just well, it's terrible. I escape. Like actually, I used to like when I was at the house. My parents were like big news like people. Like they'd like follow all the latest developments and stuff, and like they'd be like, "Hey, like come over here and watch the news with us. Like you need to learn what's happening in the wider world." And I'd just be like, "No, I'm gonna go and like watch the two best friends play video games on YouTube because honestly, I'm gonna get about as much information from that as I would from the news that's relevant to my life, and I'm going to not hate. I'm not going to be as miserable afterwards."
Right. It's all based on fear.
Yeah, there's a lot of fear mongering. Fear sells. Fear sells super well.
Yeah.
And again, that's super depressing.
Yeah. It's all based on, you know, the most irrational emotion there is. In my opinion.
Well, fear is by its nature irrational. The reason, like, the way fear works is it's kind of designed to get us to gut react. Like, because if we were, like, in primal desert, you know, of the Mesopotamia or whatever, you know, we're out there on the field, and a tiger comes out, like, jumps out, and is like, you know, attacks us. We're not, like, the way fear is supposed to react is it's gut, it's instinctual. It is just ignore everything else, do what you need to do to survive. But it means that in order to play on fear, all you have to do is just, like, flip a few right switches, and no one will ever think about it. Like, no one will ever, like, rationally go, like, wait a minute. Because you're playing up to their fear. You're playing up to the instinctual, like, animal drive to survive.
And the thing is, that's something that gets neglected in our Western society. I think.
How's that, actually?
The fight or flight doesn't happen very often in Western societies. To an average person. In nature, where we were for a long time, that happens a lot. Or it happens more often anyway. I mean, even something as simple as what's rustling that bush. Rationally, you know, it could be, you know, any animal or whatever, but it's still what's rustling in that bush. I don't know. Whenever I go walking by myself in the woods, I'm always passively taking in what's around me, but I'm also very alert.
No, I'm I'm just straight up alert. Like, whenever I'm walking in the woods freak me out. The woods are like,
When I'm, walking around in society, I don't need to be alert. Really. Nobody's going to hurt me. I'm walking the streets of, a city where there's people everywhere. And there are these people who enforce the law that we have written for ourselves. You know what I'm saying? All of these concepts and all of these things that are all man-made. And it makes it so I don't have to worry about it. But then there needs to be some sort of outlet for that,
Right. So it means we're not desensitized to fear at all, and so anything that scares us super hard. Which I think is the reason why like terrorism scares us so goddamn much, is because like war doesn't scare like Americans that much, because war, like, unless you're a soldier, and you're a soldier, obviously, like, totally, like, you've gone out, you've done some pretty fucking crazy things, and like like, not saying anything against you in this, but like, for most Americans, they have never experienced fear. They've never experienced the fear of war. Like, war is a distant thing that does not affect them. They have not experienced, like, they may have experienced, like, gang violence, like, and gang violence can be pretty fucking horrifying. Like, they can like, lean on the side of being downright, fucking, like, horrific.
Anytime you're in mortal fear of your life, it's pretty fucking crazy. And most people don't really have to experience that, save maybe for, a handful of times throughout their life.
But that's the thing. Like, what I'm kind of saying is, like, like, maybe if you're in, like if you're in an area riddled with gang violence, you've experienced, like, legitimate fear for your safety on a day-to-day basis. If you're a soldier, you've probably experienced fear on a day-to-day basis. If you are average Joe Schmo American, living in a decent... not even suburban, like, just like a decent, like, American city where there's no real danger of you being hurt on a daily basis, and then suddenly, the Twin Towers fall, like a giant symbol of American, like, might comes down, not from an invading nation, not from anything our military stopped, just as far as Joe Schmo on the street is concerned, totally unpredictable act of,
it's chaos.
Chaos, yeah. And that's horrifying, like, on a guttural level, level, because, like, you've never had to worry about dying unexpectedly. Like, not violently, not from something that wasn't, like, a car accident or a heart attack. Like, that is a rude awakening to your own mortality from a place where you never expected that to, like, ever be an issue. Right.
And the thing is, it's not chaotic. It has a cause.
Yeah.
And maybe Joe Schmo doesn't fully understand it, and maybe nobody fully understands it, but it does.
Yeah. But the thing is, like, my
part. But that's why I don't really think that fear is useful anymore to have around, because even approaching nearly any situation that you will experience in modern day America or whatever Western society, without fear, will certainly improve that situation for you. The only times fear is really necessary is when you need to, like you said, act that way where you're not processing what's going on, you're just doing. In nearly every other circumstance, that works against you when done in excess. And I think that the fear mongering that the media does all the time is the excess.
Oh, no argument here about that. Yeah, because again, fear sells super well. Like, what better way to glue someone to their TV than to threaten them, essentially? Say, if you are not here to view this, then you might be exposed to danger.
Right.
Speaking of which, if you don't watch the next episode of Let's Read, terrorists will come with AIDS and they will give them to you.
Yes.
It's a true story, experts at 11.
But at the end of a bomb, they will give you AIDS.
They have what experts have been calling the AIDS bomb.
Yes.
It is terrifying. You should be scared and watch more episodes of Let's Read and Let's Read Living the Dream. Let's play Living the Dream. Wait, let's
read.
Let's role play. Let's role play the game. Oh, fuck me. My words have been affected by the alcohol.
Yes.
And the conversation, which is bleak.
Yeah.
What a bleak conversation. Have you ever guessed it?
This is what two definitely not intoxicated people
who definitely don't have serious depression issues
will come up with to talk about.
Yeah.
When left to their own devices and left to some task that occupies their otherwise destructive rational processes.
Super self-destructible.
Yeah.
I mean, like,
when looked at from that perspective, it's beautiful and horrifying.
Yeah, actually, true story. Like, this is like kind of like the weird difference. Like, I uploaded a while ago the "Why Not Live the Dream" video, which was about me and Soundspeed, Lightning Rabbit, and Mytho, and I think Cabral wasn't there, but we were all hanging out and having fun. We were having a good time. People were awesome. Mm-hmm. And that's pretty much what happens when the Living the Dream crew is together just for funsies. Mm-hmm. We are a group of friends who genuinely like each other and genuinely have a good time spending time together. Mm. When me and Soundspeed are hanging out together, we are less that and more like this, basically.
Yeah.
Because, as much as me and Soundspeed are probably the two most traditionally, comedically talented group members, I don't want to, put myself on a pedestal, but,
no, I would agree.
Feel like, I feel like Cabral has a natural comedy that just comes from being as kind of goofy as he is, and Lightning Rabbit is a, legitimately talented, natural straight man, comedic straight man. Me and Soundspeed are probably the two best at just comedic delivery, comedic, writing jokes, landing jokes, etc. Mm-hmm. But the thing is, the two of us are also, we have our issues when it comes to depression. So when we hang out without anyone else, the conversations tend to lean in the direction of so anyway, misery. Misery and tragedy.
It's hilarious because there is a correlation between being funny and being really depressed.
Oh yeah, no, a lot of really, really funny people tend to kill themselves because comedy is a way of getting around depression.
Yeah. Our manic laughter should be evidence of this.
Yeah. I don't even know why I'm laughing. I'm just laughing.
It's because the mental kayfabe is dropped.
I guess so, maybe. I don't know, I think there's something so absurd about the idea of admitting to horrible, miserable depression in such a lighthearted, goofy way. It's not the juxtaposition of how you'd imagine a conversation like that going with the We are depressed people who suffer from depression. I am sad right now. I am weeping.
Well, it's because we already did that.
Yeah, like, but it's been like I think it is funny. It's juxtaposing. Like,
yeah,
it's like.
Well, we already did that in the thank you video.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. We did.
That's what I mean.
God,
this is the other half of us coming out.
Yeah, this is the other side. This is the side of it where there isn't the happy like. This is the funny video where there isn't the happy ending about how everything then turned out well.
No, this is the one of the ongoing the ongoing issues,
which admittedly is not as bad as some of the issues that were brought up in the thank you video, because we are progressing, we are improving, we are becoming,
as all humans do.
And that is the great thing about humanity, is that we do evolve, we do grow. We aren't always going to be the people that we are right now.
And that's the great thing about humanity. We always decay, and we always degenerate, and we're gonna die one day.
Actually, me and Zombie earlier during like the recording and a little bit before it, we were making BoJack Horseman jokes. Have you ever seen BoJack Horseman?
I've heard of it.
Yeah, you should watch it. Like, do you have Netflix?
Yes, I do.
Okay, good. Yeah, it's okay, and this is a general recommendation for anyone who hasn't seen the show. It is a deceptive show. A notable like little story about the show that like really speaks to like kind of the weird thing about it is a review magazine thing published a review on the show, having watched like the first like 4 episodes, and gave it a review of maybe it was in the 6 episodes, and gave it a review of like C-, like pretty low review. And then later on, they published a retraction of that review, basically saying, like, especially with the whole Netflix show where you can, like, where you're kind of encouraged to binge the whole thing. You're not really supposed to watch a couple of episodes and then, like, being like, you're supposed to kind of take it as, like, each, series is like a series. That was a bad way of, watching just a couple of episodes and then drawing an opinion of it was a bad way of doing it. And they ended up redoing the score as one of the most, like one of the best shows of the year, like one of the top, 5 best shows of the year. And that is BoJack Horseman. Like, BoJack Horseman is a show that starts in the first season, for the first few episodes, looking like Family Guy, like one of those awful Family Guy knockoff shows that's kind of gross and dumb and, you know, like taking kind of like a dumb, you know, cynical view on the world for the sake of, you know, pandering to millennials, like disaffected millennials. But what it does is it is a show that the basic premise of it is, and I'm kind of taking from someone else's review a little bit here, but like it is a show about removing the reset button. It is a show about setting up situations that in most Family Guy, sitcom, you know, animated comedy, whatever type shows would be resolved in 30 minutes and then forgotten for next week's episodic adventure. And not letting it be forgotten, like making it so that like you do, like the main character does a shitty thing for shitty reasons, and that remains forever, like that never goes away. Like, you know, and it's actually like reflected in the show as well, like little detail stuff. Like in a very early episode, an ottoman gets burnt, and every single episode of the series after that, the ottoman is burnt, like remains burnt. So, like, it's a show that starts with, like, you know, essentially a main character who's just a dumb, you know, self-absorbed, depressed asshole who looks like he's going to, like, build up a relationship with these fun characters who he's surrounded by, and there's all these different things. And over the course of the series, you see just how broken and awful of a person someone would have to be that kind of, like, awful, you know, cynical, jokey character, and how treating life as like a dumb sitcom where you can just do dumb bullshit that like has no repercussions like would lead to just the most fucked up, situation. But while also not being like hopelessly depressing. Like I joked with Zombie after he said that he just caught up in the third season by saying like, I love BoJack Horseman. Every time a new season comes out, I binge it and then I want to kill myself. And like that's pretty true to point. But like the thing is, the reason I come back from the next season after being so miserable is that it's it's a good show. Like it's not just relentlessly grim,
right?
Because
no plot would work that way.
Yeah, like this is a show in which like there's like it always feels like they're diving deeper. Like the first season ends with him pretty much having burnt most of his bridges and kind of fucking up his social life. The second season ends with him having done something which I won't spoil, but basically is like near unforgivably like selfish and just awful and like kind of fucked up. And the third season ends with him trying to commit suicide. And yet every single season kind of manages to kind of pull back a little bit. And like always manages to kind of go like, okay, yes, but like
right.
He does slowly get better. Even if like things like turn around and like dive into even deeper holes, there's always the hope for redemption, and the characters around him do grow and do become better people and do, like prove that there is, like that it isn't all like the world is not oppressively bleak forever.
Right.
I think that's awesome. So I recommend the show highly to you and anyone else who is
who liked the description.
Yeah, who likes that sort of description. Also, for what it's worth, me and Zombie both consider the show fantastic. So you have Australian and American thumbs up on show quality. Hey.
What do you say we put a turn limit on this motherfucker?
Yeah, sure. It's like 2:30 in the morning, 2:20 in the morning. So.
All right, turn 125 is a good round number there.
125. Okay, the one that we just hit. Okay.
Yep.
Oh man, you sure know how to pick them.
Yeah.
All right. Well. Great. Well, thank you all for joining us, and we'll. I don't know if you'll see us next time. I don't know if this is going to be a thing we do again.
Yeah.
In this form, I mean, we'll probably do a much more traditional, fun let's play type thing with Mire doing the whole Immortal game. But I'm just gonna label that save file as depression, and. Well,
because it was an ultimately futile exercise.
Yeah, and because like the conversation surrounding it was super depressing. But I personally think this is. Oh man, that's right. Oh. Oh my god. Oh my god! I shouldn't have drank all that. Oh.
Nah, you'll be fine.
Oh god, I finished the drink. I was like, I'm going to do like a thing where like I started by having the glass completely full, having drunk no alcohol, and then at the end I would have drunk all of the alcohol, but there was enough left that would actually burn super hard.
Well, hey, be proud of yourself.
Oh my god, I'm not proud of myself. I think. Okay, I'm pulling back.
Well, we don't have Cabral or Time Night around to tell us that this isn't record worthy.
Yeah, that's the good thing. Well, Sasby would also be like, "That was terrible. We shouldn't upload that." Lightning Rabbit more so. Lightning Rabbit would be like,
"We're gonna upload it anyway."
We're gonna upload it anyway. Fuck. Okay, fuck everyone who isn't you. You, the person who are still watching at this point. You know,
Yeah.
you individual, you one
Yeah.
person.
Yeah, you.
You rock, and also why? Why
Yeah.
would you watch this? Like, actually, honestly, like,
Take this as a moment to truly think very, very carefully about where you go to find your entertainment.
and what, like, did this speak to you on a personal level? If so, oh my god, I'm so sorry.
Yeah.
And if not, do you find human misery entertaining? Like, what?
Well, I wouldn't pay too much credence to.
Yeah, you know, probably thinking too much about it. You're probably fine. I mean, honestly, it's probably more along the lines of you're just kind of interested in, you know, what we had to say, and therefore, you know, there's no greater
We
meaning
would certainly
to it.
hope so.
Here's hoping that you are a happy, well-adjusted person who is enjoying this for the sake of seeing how the other side lives. The
Yes.
miserable other side. Till
It's
next.
cold and gray.
Yeah. Oh, I think I'm actually a little bit drunk. All right. Well, anyway, till whatever. If anyone is actually still watching this, actually, hold on. Okay, real quick.
Just gonna retcon that ending there.
No, hold on, real fast, because I want to like test something here.
Okay.
If you are still watching this, okay. This lipstick right. Wait, hold on. Is that just a generic title? No, okay, no, that's Red Revolution. So this lipstick case is Warm Me Up 235. You post that in the comments, and I will personally respond by basically going like, "Holy shit, you actually finished the video." Okay, amazing.
And then Duhad will have a discussion with you about the video.
I will talk to you about the video. Like, remind me. I might forget, but remind me and say like, "Hey, I finished the video. This code. You have to now talk to me like properly, and not just like put a smile emoji or something."
What's the code one more time for clarity's sake?
What's the code again? It's warm up 235.
Warm up 235.
Warm
Punch
up.
that motherfucker in. That's a coupon code for Duhad's attention, and we all know how you want Senpai to notice you. So
Yeah, unlike all the other people who I
that
notice
comment,
just because I generally tend to answer all my questions, all the comments. But you're special. You're really special because
you get the internet cookie.
you get the internet cookie. You get the
Okay.
no price. Okay, we're stopping now.
Now
Bye,
that's
everybody.
the official end.
It was the official end. Bye.